So again, in 1 minute, and I just thought you that I'm going to run this on Docker locally, so it actually also takes some time on my computer. But I can talk to you about the Discord channel as well. So if you want to interact with people outside the office hours, we have a Discord for that. So we've got 8 people online, 18 people offline. So you can, the link has been sent on the email that you got. I think you all got an email because you have the Zoom link. So the Discord link is in the same email, and you can join Discord without having an account. Then you can just join it on the browser. But if you have an account, if you download the app and you have an account, then you can see the same user, and you can see your history if you have like direct messages with someone. But also it works just to try and the browser, and you just lose any history that you got. Okay, so now the notebook has finished on my computer. Let me open this thing. So I'm running this locally. This should be the same view if you clicked on the link on the if you click the link here, this is locally on here. So everything we're doing now, I'll get to do it. So if you follow along on your browser, then you will lose the data if you don't download it. But I'm doing it here, so I will commit whatever we're doing. Okay. So okay, so I'm going to go to this directory notebooks, and I will start a new one. And so you can choose either GF kernel or Python 3, but we're doing GF now. So this is now, you can write any GF numbers here. Let me give this a name. GF summer school 1. Day 1. Okay. So if you have any questions, feel free to say it on the chat or Discord or unmute yourself. Okay, I will see all of this. Okay. So this is the first diagram you'll like to see. So let's well, for some of you, maybe not for Anna. So let's start with a hello world. In GF, we have an abstract grammar, abstract syntax, and concrete syntax. And usually you need to start with the abstract because that's the building block, but that's the basic thing that tells us what you want to be able to say. So let's call it abstract hello. And we have categories and functions. That's the facts. Now what do we want to say? Well, we want to greet the world. And then so we can call the category greeting. Then, well, we want to, like, who is it we want to greet? We want to greet recipients. So, yeah, this is enough for this story. We have two categories, a greeting and a recipient. And then functions. So now we define some things that are these values or construct these values. So let's start with the recipients. We have world. Is that's we want to eventually be able to create the world, assign color to it. So we say we define a world, and then a colon, which means that's a type. So the type of the world is recipient. Okay. Yeah, maybe we can let's have another recipient just to make this a bit more exciting. So friends. That's also a recipient. Okay, so now we have the two recipients, and now we want to get to the creating. So we define a function. We call it hello. Type, which is from, so it takes a recipient and returns. So this is like this is a functional syntax. If you never used any functional programming languages before, this can be a bit confusing, but this is basically like this is like the argument. This is the result. We also say it's return type. So this is hello is the function, and recipient is the function's argument, and greeting is the result of the function. Okay, we're actually missing one thing here. We're going to say that greeting is the start category. So because we want to be able to say that, okay, so well, greeting is what we ultimately want to be able to, because that's our ultimate goal. Like we don't just want to list things like, oh, world, friends. Those are just intermediate things towards our goal, which is to actually greet the world and greet our friends. So that's why we say that greeting is the start category. Okay. I think we're able to run this now. Okay, we define hello world. So what we can do with this now? Yeah, nice one. We can. Well, so this is just the actual syntax, so we can't do a whole lot of things yet. We can do generate trees with this. So it generates the trees in like this trees. It looks kind of simple. So we can also use, we can visualize the trees with this command. Oh. Well, apparently not. Okay, we would be able to do this if you do this on your own computer. You see, I can paste that command in the chat. You can try this on. If you're running this on a browser, this works for you. So I tested it myself, so I'm going to put it browser. So, here you see behind the script, behind the scenes, what it's actually doing. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we can do with the actual syntax. So let's make a concrete syntax next. That's the more exciting part, in my opinion, because I like natural languages. So I'm going to start by copying and pasting this, because that's the way I usually do it. Okay, so someone is also getting in browser. That's okay. Good to know. Oh, okay. Well, that's not the that's not the that's not the most important thing. It's just I just thought it would be cool. So okay, so now let's do a concrete syntax. Concrete hello world. Let's do English first. Hello world. So that's the wording, like concrete grammar name, language name of grammar name. Here we don't need flags anymore. We can pick that. And then the cat, we have a living cat. So that's linearization of the category. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the raw generic trees works fine. That's good. I just wanted to show them it would have been fancy. Okay. So right now we're at link cats. So greeting. We want it to be. Let's be very simple. Say that these are all strings. This. And then for fun, we have lib. Now, since the link cats are just strings, we can just say the value of world is the string world. And the value, the linearization of friends is just a string. Friends. And then for the function hello, these comments. So we apply it to an argument. So we put the argument like this. I'll just rec hello rec equals, we concatenate the string hello with the rec. So this is now the concrete syntax. And everything is on this. Now let me know if I'm going too fast, too slow, and increments. So now what we can do. So we have this GF shell operation here in trees. We can do. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the shorthand for that is GT. So that's again, that's for the actual syntax. But then when we do GT and pipe it with linearize or short for L, then we get the strings. So this is now this is the concrete syntax actually. So this was such a simple grammar. Let's just copy it for another language. So it's more interesting. Any suggestions? Which language?
So sorry, I have a question. I still get something like category is not in scope.
Oh, you didn't put flags start cat creating.
Okay.
You can also alternatively you can do, if you get the category blah blah from the scope, you can do this. My question is: the start category always required to be defined? If you don't define the start category, then GF is going to assume that the start category is named S. So this would actually work. But let me do an alternative. Or just let me make a random number here. Abstract. This. A, B, S, E. I don't even need this category B. This grammar now, if I run it, Oh. I meant A to S. Sorry. So this is now, if I do GT on this, it will give me, like, it's not complaining at all because I actually have, it assumes that S is the subfactor. Does this answer your question? Sorry. Not some. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let's put this. Okay, so right now let's go back to hello world. Okay, so which language shall we do the translate? Let's make a concrete for another language. Any suggestions? This is just like 3 words basically. So when we do this for Malay,
Sure. We can say apa khabar dunia.
sorry,
We can say apa khabar dunia.
apa khabar?
Apa khabar is hello, and dunia is world.
Okay, cool. Let's do. Is this the right language code? So what's the apa?
Khabar. It's 2 words actually.
Apa khabar? How do you spell it?
NIA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh, that was. Oh, no, that was hello. No, sorry, that was world.
Oh
And
yeah.
this is
it's-
hello.
yeah.
Okay. What friends? Let's make this complete. This one.
Kawan.
Got
KAWAN.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So now we have. So now when we do the GT and linearize, then we get. Oh right. Oh, I overwrote. Let's put this down. Now we should have both languages. Let's run them both. Yeah, cool. So here we have translations. This is interlingual translation. Let's show another flag. So this is the abstract syntax tree, and these are the concrete syntax. The linearizations from the concrete syntax. Type. And these are the linearizations. Yeah. So, okay, this is an extremely simple GF grammar. So let's move on to something a bit more complicated. We have so far, so everything has been just strings, and that's not so terribly exciting because I mentioned super briefly that yeah, like GF is all this parallel multiple complex grammars. It's like beyond mind the complex sensitive, like all these buzzwords. No, it's not buzzwords. Actual theoretical computer science. But so far, like all of this is actually not super powerful because everything is just strings. So let's take a language where you actually have to do something more complicated. So I'm going to make Icelandic concrete syntax for this. Actually, let's see. I have some slides that I made like for a long time ago for another presentation that I don't speak any Icelandic, but I'm gonna just show you the. Witcher. Witcher is a great source for like So I know this is however. Show you how it works in Icelandic. Yeah, this profession. Right. So this is the problem that I have. So if I want to say hello, it depends on to whom I am saying it. So it's one of these four forms. If I say to single male, it's cycle, and it's to a single female or mixed male female group, it's style. And then for plural masculine, plural feminine, it's all different. So now we're going to do this in a diagram. So we just said like cycle for both world and friends, that would be graphically wrong. So incorrect. So, let's also see what is world in state-of-the-art computational linguistics in place. Yeah. This is world. Well, here. Copy this again. This is the hello world Icelandic map. So we just this. So this is like the wrong version. Just copying. So again, this is incorrect. So this will auto-generate. No. So this is correct. This is masculine, but this is incorrect. So now we're going to introduce you to more language constructs in GF. So now we're going to say that okay, greeting can still be a string because that's the complete. It's the complete thing, like the final thing. It doesn't change anymore because we have found all the information we need. But now recipient. So like this greeting should be inflection table. It has two forms. And the recipient should have something that tells us if it's a plural or singular. okay, so these are the new concepts. Actually, this introduces 3 new concepts at the time. Okay, I'm going to start by introducing parameters. Here we're going to talk. Now I'm just going to make it. I'm going to make it simple. I'm just going to say it's singular plural. Like if we had more examples, then it also has to take into account masculine and feminine. So I'm going to call this number, and I'm going to give it 2 values: singular, plural. We're going to use these when we define the recipients. The greeting is still a string, so that's just start category. Final, not open. It's decided. Recipient. Now we're going to make it into a record. So this is the record syntax. It's going to have a field called S, which is a string, and then it's going to have a field called N, which is number. And this number is the param here. So this is the first change. These params go together with the digits. Now we make this update these. So now the S field is this, and the number is singular. Friends, used to be, and number is 0. And now in the part, so for the hello, we're going to introduce the case syntax. Now we're going to say case rec dot n singular or plural. Here, so this is the case of this. I just hard coded. So if it was singular, I use this form. Now I also need to access the S field. It's no longer. Let's say if I didn't put the S field, like what would it give me as an error message? Say type of rec expected string inferred. Perfect. So if you're probably going to see a lot of these expected inferred things. So that's what it basically means. But the linked of recipient is here. S and N. But here we're trying to use this rec argument as if it was a string. So that's why it's saying this error message. It's saying expected string, inferred the actual linkage. S, and then this one, the actual form for, I think it was this. So for plural masculine, we didn't do gender yet. It's just singular plural. Now I think I'll be able to run this again. Oh no, it's there. Oh yeah, it's here. Just when you do a table, the semicolon is a separator, not a terminator. So this is it's just the semicolon is there to separate the two. Okay, so now this runs, and we can do generate trees and linearize them all. Oh, we have three concrete syntaxes, 3 translations, and this is a different form from the hello than this. And you can use the flag dash treatment for for the L linearize command. But then you see which abstract syntax tree it was and which language it corresponds to. Has everyone managed to get this running so far?
We still have a problem in the abstract hello world. Could you please just show that again?
Okay, sure. Yeah, if you have problems at any stage, just like ask me on the chat or speak up or anything. So the abstract is, this is the abstract, it has been the same. So when you change the abstract, if you're on the Jupyter notebook, you need to click this run again to run it. And I think you probably need to like run everything maybe. I'm not sure.
I'll try that again.
Yeah, I don't know, it might be, there might be some bugs in this Jupyter that don't happen to your shell like this.
So this family category is not in scope and that inspires us.
And what else are the problems with that? You can't, okay, there is some option like restart the kernel, interrupt, restart the kernel, then rerun the whole thing.
One is okay.
Let's see what's happening.
This one for you. GT.
Restart the kernel. Oh, that's.
With the spacing. Like space it the way.
It's not really complaints, it's different. Maybe it's really a button.
I observe even the spacing with the indentation.
Writing notes here. You can already start experimenting, like add some new categories, and you can add new functions. I'm gonna show you a couple of new language constructs soon. I'm just gonna make this file a bit more clear.
Does indentation play any role, or is that?
Indentation doesn't play a role in GFSS.
Maybe you skip that one. Ignore this one.
Yeah.
How about the rest? Are they able to?
I
Okay,
mean,
looks good.
they do not control it. But
It's only the GT problem, is it? Yeah, I don't know why your category, your GT cannot. You try G, huh?
So
You insert one, you try G.
Martin, did it help when you did, if you press this thing here, like restart the kernel, then rerun the whole thing? Did it help?
now it works.
Yeah.
It
was
did
a
most of the.
Yeah, it works now.
Okay, cool. That was the worst. Yeah. Okay, so let's introduce a couple of new language constructs. Yeah, so let's. Okay, oh, I'm not going to change the effort syntax yet. So we continue working on this hello world ice, and I'm going to add a couple of new things. So I'm going to. Okay, if you have a lot of lexicon, and then you need to write all this stuff by hand, it's like so many color braces, that's fine. So I'm going to introduce you to a helper function, which is a new keyword called helper. I'm going to call, so let's make like, I want to make it nicer to write these lexical functions. So lexical function, I just mean that it's a function that doesn't take arguments. So these recipients are kind of our lexicon, and this hello is a syntactic function in a sense that it takes an argument. So, well, I'm going to call it. So since the category is called recipient, I'm just going to make this opera called MK recipient. MK recipient, and it's the same syntax. It takes. So like, okay, we had here. This was the abstract syntax function type signature. There is a colon, that's the first name, and then a colon, which means type, and then type signature with all the arguments separated by arrows. So it would take a string, then it will take a number. Number is the parameter here that we define. So there's nothing inbuilt. Like, okay, string is built in, and records, this kind of stuff is built in, but number is just something that I define myself. And then use it. And then the return type is this. Okay, so this is, I didn't make a definition. Like, this is legal. I just, oh, okay. Oh, it's not legal. I need to give it a definition. Before I do it, so can we make this even, let's copy paste it. So how about we put this definition in only one place? So I'm gonna call it lin type, and then I'm gonna do this definition. And now that I have this defined here, I can replace it from here. So the linkup of recipient is lin recipient. It's defined here. It's also, so that will be the return type, the result of this object here as well. So from string, so it takes a string, it takes a number, and returns this new type that I just defined. Comments here. And whichever. Okay, and now let's make the definition set. So MK recipient num equals. So it's going to return a record of this type. It will have fields called S and N. So then we're just going to say S equals true, and equals none. So this is like, we didn't do anything new, but this is like a bit more convenient to write this instead of writing so many curly braces, equal signs, semicolons. So with this in place, let's first see if it compiles. Okay. Yeah, so it compiles. Not quite sure why it said abstract change, but maybe it's because I run this. Oh yeah, I know. It said that because last time the abstract change was this here. Yeah. So this is correct now, and now that we're sure that it compiles, we can apply this MK recipient alpha to these things here. And here recipient. And all this. And it goes with semicolons and equal signs. So this is a lexicon constructor. This is like also like this is a very nice like this is just a general programming thing that if we change the definition of the link at the recipient, then we don't really need to change. Like here's 3 lines. All these 3 lines can stay the same as they are, and then we only change this and this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does it matter where you define link recipient? Like for example, can you move it to under param instead?
Like, sorry, can you
The link recipient definition, like does it matter if it's under oper or should it be can it be moved to param instead?
So this one can't be a param because of the string. So, like params need to be finite. So, like actually, I mean, I could totally do like this is a legal param. Let's do this. Okay, so let me first define another param. This is called gender now. I would do this anyway soon. So I will have a gender, and then I can do another parameter which I call agreement, and this is fine param. I can call it which is number the gender. I can use this. This is one of the possible syntaxes for params. So this is fine because both of these fields are finite. All of their values are here, so there is only 4 possible values of agreement. The string is infinite, so that's can't be a param.
Okay.
And like so in general, like I guess it's technically possible to give a link cat that is a param, but the most GF categories we want to actually include some strings because we want to do some language stuff. So like mostly what we would have as link cats are not just params. Okay. Well, this was kind of fast forward to what I would have done soon, but that's good. So my next step is to add some more lexicon and actually use this gender as well. But let's see, have you gotten this empty recipient constructor also working? Oh, okay, I was syntax work. I didn't even get this working. Okay. There's no line. That's annoying. Oh, let's not do it this way. Oh, I need to have like a, no, I don't need to have a constructor. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Okay, so I need to have a constructor. So, but I usually don't use the syntax myself because like if you're not asleep, you can you can always jump in. Okay, so did everyone get this lexicon constructor opera working for them? I'm seeing nods in the classroom. Okay. If you didn't, so just let me know on the chat, Discord, speak up, anything. I'm gonna get that. Okay. Cool. So now let's let's go to the, all the way up to the abstract syntax and add new functions. So we're gonna, actually, I can show you, like, we can just do this, like, we don't need to type column recipient all the time. So let's do comma friends, comma, rather, comma, points. So now we have 4 recipients. Oh no, actually, oh no, wait, world is masculine, friends is feminine. Let's do, okay, just mother. Okay, now we have like one singular feminine and one plural feminine. Okay. Hold on. Okay, on the one to make sure that it's suffice. Not too many comments, too little comments. Okay. For this, like four trees now. What's mother in Malay? How would you say hello, mother?
Ibu, IBU.
Sisters. I mean, yeah, okay, if you have multiple words for sisters, if it's like little sister, big sister, just pick random.
Sisters is kakak. K-A-K-A-K.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, okay. Yes. Now, right, so do this again. So yeah, so this is for 2 languages we're defining now. So for the Icelandic, so we had this, we added the new parameter for agenda, and then we had this new parameter agreement, which is the combination of them. So yeah, we can use that as like that was a big way to new language constructs. So you can define parameters as like this. They are just single things that you list the values, or you can also define them as taking other parameters formats. So this is like, if you know functional programming, this is algebraic data types. If you don't know, so now you know. Next time you hear the word algebraic data types, you're like, yeah, that's the parameter data. I know. So the other syntax for algebra is a little bit shorter. So you need some kind of constructor. Number. Yeah, so let me just annotate this for you. To alternative syntax is for this whole line. Oh, question. Yeah. No. Oh, okay. So no idea what that error is about. I'm sorry. But yeah, we're after this, we're soon going to go to the actual GF shell, or I mean by tomorrow we're going to get to the GF shell. So this is basically it. So no need to worry if this docker doesn't, or if the bind doesn't work. So the rest of this 2 weeks we're going to use GF shell. But if someone else knows, please tell. Please help on this part or chapter. Okay. So the alternative syntaxes. So this is one using record. No record. These are basically equivalent matrices. So let me just use this because it's shorter. Okay. In both cases, you need something that is a constructor for them. So now that we have this new parameter added, I'm gonna change it in the link recipient. So we don't care only about the number, we actually care about the agreement, the whole agreement, which consists of number and gender. Like if we wanted to, we could say, okay, let's have 3 fields, and number, G, gender, but that's kind of a lot to type, so instead of this, so this is an alternative. A is a type agree. So we can still keep the API of the empty recipient constructor the same. Like we can add some argument here. Gender. One, two, three. And now what we can do is that, so this takes, we add the gender argument here. Now this is empty recipient again. So the string is still in the S field. But now we have an A field, and we can use the constructor G, which we introduce here. And we put these things correspond to each other. This was masculine, this was also masculine. Does this work for everyone? Yeah, it work. We can see success. And now when I try to run, I got an error. So let's, before we add the new lexicon, let's just fix the previous, like fix everything else. Fix the error messages we got. Happened in linearization. Hello, unknown label n. And still, this is the old thing, but this is the new. And this is definition of agreement. So I'm gonna just to make this work now, just to make it work with these 2 examples. So I'm going to have to access the A field. And then since we have the new constructor here, I'm going to pattern match on that. So AG, SG, and then since they were both masculine, I can either type M here, or I can just put an underscore. This means that I don't care about it. So this is like the least I can do to make it compile. And this works because I didn't add the new masculine. Okay, so it worked now. We changed this. So then we have to change this. And we changed this. And finally we changed this here. So let me know if you should change all the things. Let me know when it's done, then I can got it. So for an actual break in like 8 minutes, this time that's going to be the halfway of this first day first lesson. We're soon done with this example. Everyone, how are you doing? Have you gotten to this point? Okay. Yeah, it should be.
Could we move it up, down? There's nothing changed at the top. Is it?
Yeah, right. So, yeah, so like the top is like these link recipients, like the link caps are not changed because what changed was this here. And so the changes start from the param. So I added gender, and then I made this new thing. And then I changed the link recipient. Okay. Did you raise your hand or you just showed?
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's finish this example and add the rest of the. Now let's add the rest of the words. So what do we have? Mother.
There's a question and so on.
Oh, okay. Oh, makes sense. Oh. Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, I told that you can ask on whichever chat, which is because I was full screen, I didn't see it. Okay, so is it possible to share the syntax if we were to construct other using? What do you mean by share the syntax? Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So we would do this. So if we wanted to do this, we could do it like. So this is like when we want to ignore it. So this. Yeah, we also change the definition here. Yeah, oh, well, this is so annoying to not have line numbers. Do we actually, oh, there is line numbers. Great. Oh, 22. Oh, yeah, the arrow was because I was trying to do multiple. Sorry. Oh, yeah, this is, yeah, so let's change that. Yeah, so now it's correct. So this is, if we want to do the pattern matching and we have the record syntax for the param, then we just do this. Actually, so, well, technically, we don't even need to do the G equals, I think. This is like, yeah, this actually. Yeah, this works even like, okay, actually, yeah, this is not so bad. It's pretty much like, it's kind of short because it's only one of these things in the, if only one of these things in the record is necessary for you, then you actually can't see the rest. So that's actually not pretty good economical design. I use the record syntax so seldom myself, but I just kind of forget that it's for no particular reason. It's just like I'm used to the other syntax. So, yeah, we can keep the record syntax for the rest of the thing. It's very equal, always. Okay. Okay, so yeah, good to have questions. Now let's add the. I'm just gonna guess the numbers. Mama or something. Yes. Okay, so it's also weird how we pronounce it, but I'm sure Mama is like more affectionate way of calling it. So that's similar feminine. And then this. Both of them. Yeah, and this is zero. After that we get the account, yeah, that's zero. Let's say that this is the right word. Icelandic speakers watching this later on YouTube or anywhere, feel free to correct everything that's on here. Let's plural. And now, obviously, if we run this, it's not going to work because we are ignoring the gender here. We're saying cycle, mama, and it's supposed to be side. So let's finish here. Now we need to ask the gender. What is masculine? Feminine. Feminine. I'm not mistaken. Still colors here. Let's go again to and again, if you're using the non-record syntax, then in the pattern match we can just remove these like all the. I change everything to record syntax. Okay, new number. The commands are algorithms. Check the method cost. So when you've gotten to this part, I suggest we're going to take a 10-minute pause. Maybe. Get a bathroom break or just stretch your legs and think about solidify all this GF syntax into your brain. A question, why is there syntax error if we put a semicolon at the end of the last thing? Yeah, so that's, yeah. Yes, exactly. So there will be a syntax error if we do this. Error, yeah, that's because the semicolons in tables they are separators and not terminators. That's kind of the GF is a bit confusing in that sense, because like, so this is like, yeah, let me do a demonstration on the cell. Let's use this margin. Here, focus. So this is a table. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Oh, I didn't actually introduce tables. I only showed you case. Okay, so let's. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna introduce you tables after the break. So okay, I'm just gonna do a case expression here. Okay, so we have some random term here. Let me just do some random opera. So we do case to string to case so here, like no colon, okay. And now let's do, if we have a record, so let's see, R is strings, R is a and so here we can put a semicolon, or we can also have it without the semicolon. So optional semicolon. This is kind of this. It's on line 1. Oh, that was a my bad. Okay, this works. Okay, so right, so no semicolon here, optional semicolon here. I can put it here, and it still works. There has to be semicolons at the end of all the definitions, like all the also like this is obligatory. Okay, actually, I'm gonna go also on a break and yeah, let's say back quarter to 11. So let's resume in 7 minutes. Right.
So how are you doing with your job? Ah, I don't know.
Hello. Um, let's switch to another grammar now. So, hello. Mm. This part, Okay, so this is the GFSS day 1. And now let's go to another method. I don't actually use the original books that much. Okay, so here. You probably have it in a separate tab. Like when we make a new one, it's open in a new tab. So if you go back to the tab with notebooks, we can, there are, oh wow, there's actually, oh, look. It did make the trees, but if you didn't show them, look, the height of graphics. Oh, yeah. So, in the factory notebooks, you go to the one that's called foods. So this is a GF classic. But like, since if you are to be indoctrinated to GF, you should all know about foods. So here we have, so right, so this grammar is already written. Did you all find this? If you didn't find it, say now. Okay, so I take it that everyone found as well. So now we have suddenly much more things, like we have 4 categories and several functions. Okay, so let's break it down a bit. Comment, item, kind, quality. Comment is the start category. We can say with this flag start cat. Okay. So comment again. So that means it's the thing that is complete, final. That's all we want to say. And the rest are the building blocks. So item, kind, quality. The kinds and qualities are lexicon, so like the nouns, the adjectives, that's how it would correspond to the words in English. So we have wine, cheese, fish, wine, cheese, fish, pizza. These are all kinds. We have fresh, warm, Italian, boring, expensive, delicious are qualities. And then we have a bunch of a few words, a few selected functions. So we can modify pizza to a boring pizza. So it takes a quality and a kind and enhances that kind with that quality. It was pizza, but not a boring pizza. And then we have so modification you can do as many times as you want. So you can say boring, green, warm, fresh, pizza. The quantification, that's where the kind turns into an item. So it used to be a pizza or a boring pizza, but now it's this boring pizza. And that's something you can only do once. So you can't say this, that pizza. Then finally, how do we make these things into comments is by predication. We say that the item is quality. So this pizza is warm. Okay. So this is the active syntax. And then we have concrete syntax. Yeah, okay, let's write this from scratch a bit. So, wow, that's a good one. Oh yeah, no, we have. Yeah, let's not go to this. Like we're not gonna go to this today. Like we're just going to look at this food and using with making this from scratch. So let's make a new one. And then press this plus button. It's fine if we don't manage to do the whole foods. This is just to get started. You can always continue with the foods grammar at your own work. I'll do that to my specials. So now we're going to make it concrete. So concrete foods. It's called food. Food and food. And we have link cats. We have cats and now we have link cats. Item kind quality. Comment is finished, so that can be, so it could be a string, but actually I'm going to now like, okay, this is your like 3rd hour of learning GF, so you're ready for the the big kids GF. So the convention is that we usually use not just a single string, even though it's possible, it's completely legal, but we usually use a regular string for reasons that I'll talk about later. Although it's kind of just like, makes sense. Like if some things are going to be records, now why not everything? So that's just a single string in a record. And then if we think of like what did we have? So we had kinds and qualities, which what kinds are like just like nouns, pizza, wine, fish. And qualities are like fresh, boring, Italian. So okay, so we know that adjectives, like the qualities in English, they don't inflect. So we can also say that quality is like that. Quality is single string in a record. The item is, so kind is just a pizza, Italian pizza, boring pizza, Italian boring pizza. An item is the thing, but it's quantified. So this Italian boring pizza, these Italian boring pizzas. So again, so the item is fixed in the number. The kind actually has a number. So we can actually do just this comment, item, quality are all just a string, but for the kind, we need an inflection table. So this is, I think, yeah, this is the last new concept I'm gonna talk about today. Inflection tables. How do we make tables? Kind. Let's say we still have some kind of S field. Okay, so we learned about the parameters, params, and we're gonna make one now. So param number singular plural. Okay. So now we're going to put that parameter in an inflection table on the left-hand side of the inflection table. So we can say it has a field called S, and the type of that field is an inflection table from number description. And double arrow for using. So good. Okay, if you get this child food doesn't exist, then you need to run the first thing. Now the second thing. And now that one, that thing, it works. It doesn't do anything yet because we don't have any links, we don't have any. Okay. Yeah, we have 1 hour. I was thinking I'm gonna spend some time showing how to actually install the GF, but let's use like 45 minutes on this and 15 minutes on translation, and then we can always continue on this one or live in the classroom for those of you here. Okay. So let's make some. Let's start by making some lexicon. We're gonna do this progressively, use more and more language constructs, and then you can always see the pre-made thing here. Don't be too excited, like you're gonna just, if you copy and paste the book, then you have to change it. Let's just do Italian pizza. I'm gonna do Italian. Let's do this pizza. Oh yeah, so here now I can't just do this. This is obviously spell. So this is obviously wrong. What are we going to get for error message? If you try like this, we're getting expected blah, inferred blah. So I haven't shown you yet how to table syntax works, so let's do that first. So just to do it from scratch, let's just do it once, because then we're going to make it into an opera. So S equals table So this presentation is kind of long. Table, SG, so you remember we have the parameter here. The values are HG and PL. SG goes to pizza and PL goes to pizzas. This ends this one ends the table, and this ends the. And so is this semicolon legal or not? It is legal. But actually, this is optional semicolon because this is in a record. So you can have a semicolon here. But here it's legal. Syntax error. Okay, so we actually, now if we try to, this grammar is not doing much yet. Like if we try to do like GT, it's actually giving nothing. Because we only have linearizations for we have only linearizations for one quality. Just remind you what the types are here. There's quality and kind. But we don't have any linearizations that would make it into comments. Even this wouldn't help if we linearize red here, like red item 12. Like this is actually what we're gonna do, but it still doesn't help. We don't have the intermediate things. So when you're working with a grammar that is like a bit bigger than just hello world, and you're like very excited, like you're defining your link cats and lanes, and then you're like, why doesn't it generate trees? It's because the steps are missing. We have quality and kind. We have something that takes an item and a quality and makes it a comment, but we're missing something that makes an item. So just to make this minimal, we need to implement something. Let's do this. Okay, cool. So just to make something, make it do something, let's define one of the functions that take kind and make it into item. Okay. So this kind equals. We're going to concatenate the string. This is the concatenation operator, C++. And then we're going to use so we have this argument kind, and we know that the kind has an inflection statement. That's like in this pizza here. Okay. So we take kind dot s. The dot is for the record protection. So an item and qual have and field called s, and then I just access it with this dot s. So again, I access this with dot s. But if we try to run it now, what are we getting? Expected string, inferred number string. So this means that I'm trying to use this expression here. I'm trying to use it as if it was a string, because like we can only concatenate strings. So then that's why it's saying expected string. But inferred, it infers it from the link at. So what we need to do is we need to access the table, and that's the syntax for it is exclamation. So, oh, sorry, not here, here. Here we need to access the right parameter. Actually, we know that this is singular, so we can just put the raw value singular here. So now this is correct. and we can do, it is creating one tree, even though it's like GT is supposed to generate all trees, it's only finding one tree because we have literally only one quality and only one kind. But we do linearize. This pizza Italian. So like this wasn't a very good linearization. But we do. So far, so good. This pizza is Italian. Okay. Has everyone followed until so far? There's a lot of there is a lot of room for improvement in this approach. Did you get this far? Okay. Okay. So can someone of you tell me what something that is wrong with this approach? Like as soon as we add add a linearization for some other function, what will break here? What will be ungrammatical? Oh yeah, you can say, yeah, right, type it on the chat. Yeah, no, it's any image of Discord or oh yeah, so yes, the print item poll only takes care of the second one. Yeah. So it seems that yeah. Yes. So as soon as let's linearize another of these kind of item functions. So let's do those find this those 0 1. This pizza is Italian. Those pizzas is Italian. So this is like, so what it seems like we need to revise something here. This red function, let me just put the type in comments so you're on both types. Item to quality to front. Annotate them like this. 1, 2. Okay. So could we do something like, if we remember, what did we have in, how did we handle in the previous grammar? We had, we were pattern matching something in the hello to choose which string to introduce in the function. So it seems like, so in this case, the recipient had actually have some inherent field in it. And then we pattern match that inherent field in the argument. So we're gonna need to do the same thing here. So comment and quality can still be just strings. So item is, the S field is also a string. But in addition to the S field, we need to have another field that tells us if the item is plural or singular. So we put the number in here. inherent parameter. So this inherent number and variable. Here, the number is on the left-hand side of the table, and here, but it depends. Like pizza contains both the strings pizza and pizzas, and then we just choose one. With item, it has some immutable string, and then it also has some number. It's not variable, it's the property of that item. So when we do this, we need to change this. Now move to fields. Choose the plural field from the kind. And then we also record that. Oh, yes. Now this item that we just made is inherent to plural. No, it's not gonna work. Let's see. Oh, yeah, actually it is gonna work. That's fun. Yeah, it is working, but it's now we're not doing anything with this. We will be doing something. So now we have the annotate my screen. Okay, whatever. So we're gonna. Browser just freeze. No. Alright. Oh, so back to the thread function. So we can do a case here. Actually, let's do the start case here. Case item dot n of g. So make this a bit more elegant. This and this. We will obviously case here. One, and now we get this pizza is Italian, and those pizzas are Italian. Okay, so this is actually let's keep it with this little lexicon. This like these are all the like this is all the GF constructs that we need to make this for English. But now this doesn't really. This is kind of if you want to add more lexicon, this is kind of ugly repetitive. So let's just to get used to the GF, like the GF syntax or the shorthands. Let's just keep this lexicon and clean this up a bit. Is everyone online still following? Any questions so far? Obviously, if you want to make new lexicon, you can do boring. Oh, this pizza is boring. This pizza is. Oh, actually, no, we're missing one. We're missing one thing. So let's do the thing that is here. If you want to follow semantic constructions, we can do the mod. So we have quality, find the kind. And that's the mod. So it says we want to say this boring pizza is boring. all kind. And now, since kind has an inflection table, just like we see here, this function takes a kind and returns a kind, so we want to keep that inflection table. So actually, we can just let's copy this whole one here and just make it. Instead of pizza, we're using the kind. So let's do it for verbosely first. Progressively make this nicer. 0. And we're going to concatenate the string from the positive. Because in English it doesn't agree. Though it's just a single string, so we can just do forward s plus plus private s of s2. Forward s. Okay. Yeah, now we're getting this. It's up. So I did extremely verbose. Let me know when you got this working. So I'll show you how to make it nicer. Thumbs up when it works for you. I'm gonna go fill my water bottle. Take the time. Can we comment block instead of one line? Yes, we can. Good question. We can comment block like this. So curly brace, dash, and dash curly brace symmetric. Thanks for asking questions. It feels interactive. Okay, so now we've got this quality table here, and this is kind of verbose. So first of all, we notice that like whatever we're doing here, singular, if we go to singular branch, then we just pick singular. If we go to plural, then we just pick plural. So we can make this into a variable. Just call it n and pick n. Let's get into this. So now we actually can show you on one line. Like this is like shorthand. We can just, if we don't care what this is, we just always pick whatever it is. And so for this happens so often if we have a shorthand for that, we just say these two syntaxes are equal. Marginally shorter than here. So, syntaxes, so either this or that. If you see, like, you're gonna see this in the grammars a lot, so just get used to it. Like, this means table. But like when we actually, so we can't, can we put, we can't put this here, because here we're actually defining the values. And here we do need to have the SGFPO, because like, if we wanted to put, if we wanted to use, let's work. Let's comment this out for a while. Let's suppose that we wanted to use this syntax here. Just to put some. So what does it mean? This just means that like everything is pizza. So it will say that this pizza and those pizza. That's why when we actually are interested in the value, we can't use the shorthands. So we need to say. We will, SG goes to pizza and PL goes to pizza. Yeah, yes, yeah, they look much like anonymous functions. That's correct. Like there's a lot of syntax in GF that is just directly the same as in Haskell, or almost like Haskell with one column instead of two columns. We can actually even we can do the syntax in operas as well. Let's do like example. Then we can just, so I showed you before, like who bar is hello kind of thing. But we can also do, we can make it all one-liner if we just do who of string to string is X. Hello. We can do this. This worked. We also, like, if we actually really want to ignore the thing, we can use an underscore. This is like, this is the one part, like we really don't care about it. So here we can't put an underscore here because we actually do care about it. But suppose that we wanted to say, like, we want us to say if anything is pizza, then we can also do like this. So the difference of tables use a double arrow, and this lambda functions use a single arrow. I also wonder, well, what's the difference between tables and functions in the first place? Why does GF have the two? It's because whatever, so a function can be from anything to anything. So string is infinite. So this is eventually infinite inputs. The tables must have a finite parameter type on the left-hand side. So it's like most often like tables in the GF context are inflection tables, so it makes sense. Like you, even if you're doing a Finnish inflection table, you still only have like 14, 15 cases, and that's finite. Like single, if you're learning Finnish, it's not. Okay.
So I'm still wondering what is the underlying structure of the sentences that we are generating. So I get to all kinds of combinations now, like this boring. Are those boring pizzas are boring? For example?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you want to do like, yeah, we can do the, let's do random instead. This one will be an error here, but I can go back to back here. People. No, it's not showing anything. Okay, I thought it would show me the pause. So this is like a tree structure saying this pizza is boring. I don't know if was that related to what you asked or.
Okay, so why are there let's say 3 qualifiers to the word pizza? Like well, I don't know what that is, a demonstrative pronoun or something like that. And then so Italian boring, for example. So
Yeah, here we have like this boring Italian pizza is Italian. So this is like you can nest these applications of mod because they take a quality and kind and return kind, and then the kind can be also a kind that is returned by another one. We can do this later. Actually, yeah, we can see the parse tree as well. So let's parse this boring. Yeah, this is parse command. Still not open, but now we can see where the strings come from. So mod is not also a kind, it's a function that returns a kind. So there is like, yeah, so oh, now I can. So if we look at this again. Yeah, so this mod takes a kind and a quality and it returns a kind. So yes, that's why we can say boring Italian, boring Italian, 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 boring, boring, boring. So,
so have you somehow limited the size of these?
yeah, I mean, there is a flag. If you want to use, you can say. Okay, so GR.
So because you could generate an infinity of trees with this grammar principle.
Yeah, that's correct. It's this is infinite. We can also say like GT step 2. So now this is very. I think there is even not step 1 because like it has to be. Yeah, so that 2 is just like both. Yeah, okay, so this is step 1, and then because we have this, like in order to get this kind, that's already step 2. So that's the minimal that's for food grammar. And then if we do, let's generate 1. GR means generate random of step 20. Oh, I don't know why it didn't do this. Okay, I guess maybe you can't give the text 20. Again, if I give this, it's gonna generate a whole bunch of trees. So stop it. It's gonna take ages. Okay, the curl appears to have died. Okay, so don't do GT just 20. There are Haskell libraries that do this very efficiently. Like you can just say, okay, give me a random tree from depth, whatever it is. It's very fast. It appears that the GF, yeah, I guess like the GF generate random command can't do just like, I guess it has to generate like everything. So probably, I don't know. Okay, so has.
If you limit the count, I guess it would not be as slow.
What is it?
If you limit the count on GT, it will probably be faster.
Yeah, you can experiment and like how it works. Is it possible to not include the same polyp twice? Oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. This is a good question. Yeah, we can totally do that. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. That's cool. So, I mean, again, so what I would do is that if I wanted to do that in some real application, I would write the GF grammar exactly as over-generating and generic as it is, and then I would write some Python code that checks that it doesn't, like it filters out or doesn't generate those that have more than one instance of some quality. Okay, so let's make, but we can also do it in GFR. Good question. So let's make a new parameter. Equal, and we're going to call it P boring, P Italian. This is not going to scale up. Like this is this is the weakness of GF. Like whenever we want to pattern match something on runtime, like something in a function that takes arguments, we can't pattern match strings. We need to be pattern matching parameters, and that's why I need to make a parameter for all quantities. So, okay, this is like extremely fancy. Like, I mean, this is super ad hoc and fancy, and this wouldn't work. But like, I'm just like, you know, this works for our case that we only have two qualities here. Has boring. Oh, I can just make it. Oh, I can also make it into Boolean and make it into different fields. That's probably better because. Yeah, I'm gonna make them into Booleans instead. So it doesn't I don't think this makes it. This is kind of equivalent, sort of. It is as boring as Italian. Cool. And obviously this is going to blow up super much if we have a large grammar with lots of words. But this is feasible for this. Okay, as boring as Italian. And this is going to be false. Oh yeah, no, I do need this. Yeah, I do need this. Equal is equal boring to Italian. I do need to have some inherent parameters. So now it's an equality that is S. String. Now we have quality string and then equal. So this keeps track which thing it is, because we not allowed to pattern strings. There is that's like, if you want to learn one thing about GF today, we may not pattern strings in a function that takes arguments. When we create lexicon, then we can put it in strings. Like as much when we want to create an inflection table, like we don't need to give it 15 fonts. We can just give it the stem, and then we can say, oh, is this the inflection paradigm 38 or whatever? That's super fine. But when it's a function that takes arguments, no pattern match. So let's do this. So these are the Boolean fields. It's the born and PQ is the born. PQ is the Italian. And now for mod. So we can do this. This case expression. So let's say case. Well, oh yeah, this is how we make a tuple. GF. Well, dot PQ. Yeah, that's a bit complex, but kind of has boring. Oh no, we can do nested. We can do nested. Yeah, is call of PQ. Oh. Boring. And then we go another case. Case kind of has boring. So if it has a boring, don't add one more. This. Same thing with the has Italian. I'm not sure if this is actually answering your question because it's kind of like, I mean, this is not limiting the trees we construct. This is just limiting the strings. So like, there are lists in GF, but it probably doesn't work like you're used to. Look, this is my latest post. This is pretty much like more advanced than we're doing in this lecture, but like if you're comfortable with like programming stuff, you can read this. But hopefully answers your question. Right. Okay, so that's okay. So this is not completed because I haven't added this, like it has this name. So actually we should do this. Let's put this case expression higher up. Sorry, I just messed the whole structure. This. Nice. Kind of messy. This is the pattern match. This is the record. Italian pattern match. This used to be the function that we had. I mean, you feel free to like massacre this cell, because we have like the model answer here. So, like, no need to like keep this pretty. This is like this experiment. For instance,
What is the double backslash n?
oh, that was the like shorthand table. So table. So this means like this is shorthand for like and this third, fourth, and four. Three ways of writing the same thing. Okay, so we've been writing a lot of here without compiling, so I'm pretty sure it doesn't work right now. But let's see. Yes, this is the pattern match that goes from kind of past Italian. So we haven't matched this yet. So let's one. Who doesn't exist? Oh, okay. Let's need to do this again. Where's the camera rerun? No. Oh, okay, constant of count n. Oh yeah, of course, yep. That's true, because we did. So now we can put this here, because I forgot to do that thing. I was just copying and pasting, and so this is going here. Yeah, sorry, this is a bit complex. It's not saying anything. Oh yeah, it's this thing. I need to remove this because it's not happy. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, don't have this line. Let's kill this. Computer is making a little bit noise on this. Okay, cool. Oh. Yes. So that's yeah. So that's this error work, I think. So I was only putting this near field. So actually, let's introduce you to new syntax. So we can just do this. We can extend the record. Find star, find star, and then actually in this case it has Italian was already true, so we can just simplify this a bit. So now when we put the kind star star, it means that we use whatever it was there. Whatever this kind used to be, and then we just keep the other fields and change the field of dimension. So, in this case, so the quality was a boring, and the kind was also boring. So we don't need to, like, the only change we do is that we don't add another boring. And since the has boring was already true, we don't change it. But in this case, the quality was boring and the kind was not yet boring. So we added the S, and then we also did the has boring.
Isn't it superfluous to change the string if it's true?
The change was true.
So if it has boring,
Yeah.
and then you are taking the kind and then you're modifying the string, could you just return the kind?
Yeah, that's true. That's even better. Perfect. Very good. Yeah, exactly. So we can simplify it just like this. Yeah, perfect. Nice. So now let's see. Are we getting? Okay, this is fine. Those pieces are boring. Let's do GT. So yeah, here we have boring pizza, but we're still getting just this boring pizza. So this is like this was quite a sidetrack from I suspect that maybe you were asking if we can just make the tree not have the two more boring. And the answer to that would be we would do that in the other program. So I'm gonna pitch my blog again because I have a good score. So this is an example, like, yeah, look, it's good to get used to foods because I'm using it in like half of my blog posts is about foods. Like this blog post is like all about the fact that like you can make it, your grammar can be very silly, but as long as we have some application, like here is some Python code or whatever code that manipulates the trees and does this, like that code is looking into these trees and doesn't even choose this tree or it doesn't even generate this tree. So that's where we would actually do this thing. But this is just like, you know, fun exercise to show you like being silly with the parameters. I'm gonna, I'll update, I'll keep this, I will push this code also to the repository, and I'm just gonna annotate this like I'm saying. Yeah, this was the silliness that we did in the GFSS school first lecture, and this is the, if you want to see like the the model answer, then you can go to this answer. It's using all these things that we define, like we have these operas that define our own types and constructors. Like here we have like this noun that takes constructor for noun, takes two strings. Here we have a regular noun which adds just an S, and we have also the copula that is put there. Right. So yeah, this was a fun adventure, and I'll keep this. We'll keep this so you can look at it and play more with it. I think we can stop this for now and stop sharing my screen. So show you my face. Hello. I don't know if who has seen me before. everyone's wearing a mask, so this is like half of my face. So what we did today was a sort of very informal introduction to GF syntactic constructions, so that you get used to seeing like these exclamation marks, dots, curly braces. I would suggest that you play around with these things yourself. Like you can continue playing around in Jupyter Notebook, or you can install GF on your computer. I know some of you had some trouble installing, so if you have trouble, please come to Discord. 11 people online, yay. So what we're going to do, yeah, and so from tomorrow on, we're going to do pretty much like linguistics. Okay, when you get an error, can you also copy the code that you wrote? Like preferably like the whole thing, the whole grammar for the time. Yeah. You need the star up to find. So true arrow find star. Or you can even just in the first case you can just say find. Okay, so so anyone who is out there on Discord, you can help. I like it when people have actual like nicks, not just real names. But you're good. Oh no, I like you more, Skudar. Your name is Nicholas now. Sorry. You can be whatever you want to be. I'll call you whatever name you're. Okay. Oh, right. That makes sense. This part makes full. Okay, so just to for the rest 9 minutes, let me just show you real quickly how to install GF. I'll share my screen again. Go to framework. And here we have download GF. Look, we had a new release yesterday. So to go to binary packages, so click this, get link to GitHub. All the way down. If you have a Mac OS, I guess this works for other things than Windows. Just for Mariam, which Linux distros have you managed to install it?
I did it on the 20 Ubuntu, and I did it on the latest Fedora, but not this release.
Okay. Well, okay. So these Ubuntu files have been known to work for other Linuxes as well. So give it a try. And we have Windows. And so if none of these works for you, you can. There is an older version that you can get from Package. We will hopefully, that will also update in a couple of days. If you don't know what Package is, ignore this whole thing. And then as a last resource, you can always compile it from source. So that should work on your computer if none of the rest. And if you have any trouble, just ask on Discord, ask anything. Yeah, we have channels for questions, for reports, and things. So for the rest of this week, tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to talk about GF in a more principled and linguistic manner. Then we're going to start making a mini resource grammar. And then on Thursday, we're going to introduce you to the actual GF resource grammar library. So if you don't manage to install GF, you're still fine using the Jupyter notebook online, whatever. But by Thursday, hopefully you should have the actual GF shell and the GF RTL. We're going to talk about the installation of this later. So just be prepared. By Thursday, you should have the GF shell and GF RTL. Any questions about today's talk? We're going to have lunch in 5 minutes, and after that, we're just going to be hanging out here. And later on, around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., we're going to have a more official virtual hands-on here, and then Anna will do the talk 8. We can stop recording for now, so just have a good lunch, everyone.
I'll go.
Just take install it.
Yeah.
Takes a while.
So just been looking through that, trying to get to the last thing.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know, always get a connection failure.
There's an acne. I had that from the first one. It's like taking a very long time.